Hello everybody, welcome to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship here in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Marco Barbanero, who's also doing the cameras. And very quickly, we are on the grid. So we're going to have to make this quick. I will bring Marco in shortly. Ash Sutton on pole for CQR ahead of Jack Sedgwick, Wojciech Svidovic in third, fourth for Christian Rose, George Simmons in fifth, Sven Glatzel in sixth. Then it's Jamie Rushworth and Jack McIntyre on row four. Row five is Len Cheplewski and David Baker. Then it's Lewis Bibby, then Pete Harrod in 12th. 13th is Ross McFarlane. Then it's Stephen Baxter in 14th. 15th for Daniel Brown. Then Paul Smith in 16th. Dan Brown, of course, leading the AM category in this one. Adam Hadfield in 17th. 18th for Will Daniels. 19th, Mark Woodhouse. Chris Wood in 20th. Maciej Sakovic 21st. 22nd for Max Wright, 23rd for Michael Blake. Then it's Adam McNally in 24th, Rob Graham 25th, John Roberts 26th, 27th for Kip Stevens, Adam Hedgecock in 28th. And at the back in 29th is Sean Gardner. Marco, very quickly, who's your money on for this one?
Well, I think we can say that Ash Sutton certainly starting from pole, so it's an easy pick. We have seen in the MX-5s the moto layout. Today we are running in the Grand Prix layout, so other way around.
Here we go then, just about ready for the start. 5 red lights are on. Lights are off, the race is on. Good start by Sutton. Better start by Sedgwick, and he's really trying to close the gap quickly as they go towards the chicane at turns 1 and 2. Almost 3 wide behind them then with Glatzel, Simmons and Rose. Very close. And Sutton gets into turn 1 first. Svidovic just behind, the car bouncing around. It's very bumpy surface in these first couple of corners. It looks like everyone is through. Okay, Marco, to start.
Yes, seems like a good start from almost everyone. We see a couple of drivers dropping. I think Brown is having some issues and McFarlane, but that is, the normal argy-bargy you get at the very beginning of these races. We see a move on the outside there of the infamous hairpin. I think that brings us back to the backstretch. It's very wide, but of course you have to be careful because it's very easy to get a slowdown around here. First of 3 races, of course, 20 minutes in duration, and we see some fantastic camera shots from almost below the grounds. Thank you, iRacing. Maybe we can have a better idea now of the snake of cars moving through. This is not identical to the F1 layout because there has been some changes. As Adam Hadfield is having some issues, and he's into the wall. The Otto McNaughton car missing the front end. We will get back to that very shortly. So yeah, similar but not identical to the layout that F1 has run in the early 2000s. This is more similar to what the IndyCar used to run right now when they do the IndyCar Grand Prix before the 500-mile race late in May.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different even again, I think, isn't it, since? But yeah, good. It's that middle sector. It's not the two slow hairpins now. It's a medium speed technical section, couple of chicanes, and yeah, it's quite tough. I've driven here in the back in the R11 Grand Prix series back in the day, and very technical section, easy to go off, easy to make a mistake. This is what happened to Adam Hadfield then. Going through the S's, is he going to get a little bit of help from Team Madcar? And it is, I think it's Paul Smith, and that's the second week in a row that those two have come to blows. I'm pretty sure they crashed into each other a couple of times last week as well. Sutton leads the way by half a second. This is the section we were talking about, and it's a couple of decreasing speed S's. And then the third is almost a 90-degree left-hander, really. Small curb on the inside, quite easy to just smash the curb and basically get it wrong. Now on to the long oval section, Marco, and Sutton with a half a second lead could easily be swallowed up by the time he gets to turn 1.
Absolutely, this is, despite not being the MX-5s, there's still a massive slipstream in play. And this is one of the longest straights you can find in iRacing. Sutton once again quickest around in this lap, but you can see there is basically a piece of paper between each of the first 9-10 cars. So any mistake will be crucial, and of course slipstream will be key. Let's run on board a bit with Wojciech in second place, and you can see following through the race leader. And if you look behind, you see there's a lot of chaos behind as well. So certainly you have to keep one eye in front and one eye in the back, as Sutton takes a, we'll say, unique line through the hairpin, and let's see if Zviridovic can get a better run, as Sutton is also dropping in and out, which is never ideal.
No, not really. Not when you, especially not when you're leading the race. Although it does have an unexpected benefit of it means, it means that the opposition sometimes a little hesitant to go side by side with you, just in case there's anything silly happens with the connection. But Zviridovic was getting very close. He's now 2/10 closer this time, Marco. Surely he's going to have a go into turn one.
This could be the run he was looking for. Let's see, because Sutton was struggling a bit in the middle portion of that lap. Let's watch behind the race leader for CQR and see that ERT car slowly creeping in.
He's not blocking the inside, Marco. He's confident of his ability to go around the outside. Svinovic goes through, goes a bit deep, loses the position. So good work by Sutton. He saw him coming, and he had the feeling, didn't he? You've got to get up pretty early in the morning to outbrake at Sutton. That is what happened to Svinovic too late on the brakes, and yeah, that's one chance gone. I wonder if Sutton didn't want to block the inside, Marco, because maybe he wanted to run behind Wojciech for a little bit and see. It's very difficult to escape on this circuit, isn't it? Unless you have a really, really good lap.
It is very, very difficult to run away, and I think that that was confident from Sutton, but I mean, we are talking about two of the best drivers in the championship, and certainly you have also to appreciate, I would say, the way they race with each other.
Problem for John Roberts and William Daniels. They're dropping down the order. I think they may have crashed into each other at some point. Sure if that's the case. Oh, now that is with an Excite Energy car. The contact was initially made. Oh, and then Daniels. So they both ended up off the track. So nothing major, but definitely held them up badly. Put them at the back of the field nearly.
Sometimes it happens in a race. Two cars get so close they basically connect with each other. They morph into one another and they tangle.
Now 2 laps in a row, Marco, not deja vu, not Groundhog Day as such. We saw the ERT car closing up down the main straight, but this time it's Stelian Chepelevsky who takes Sven Glatzel, although he runs in a little bit deep, and Glatzel tries to recover, but it's through for the Bulgarian, and he's up into 4th place.
As we see Yaroslav Sebula in the chat, MX5 Monday Night driver, and supporting his fellow countryman Wojciech Zviridovic, of course, one of, if not the best driver together. There are some great names, and you can see certainly now a little bit of a separation between the top 3 and the rest, if you can call it like that, because you can see Chepelevsky is very, very close, and both, especially Wojciech Zviridovic, has got this added bonus of having 2 teammates behind him, one very close in Sedgwick, the other in Chepelevsky, and they can form sort of a barrier, while CQR cars are a little bit behind. Christian Rose in 6th, Rushworth in 8th, and Baker in 9th, Arrod in 11th. There are a couple of V-Racer cars there, as well as, once again, we are on the front stretch. These cars are very, very quick, despite, being touring cars. They can have some massive speeds, especially when they go to Daytona for the road course season finale. It's always... I remember last season they were ludicrous speeds on the backstretch.
We're talking well over 270 kilometers an hour at the end of this straight. We see some of the speeds coming in. 278 we see for John Roberts on that previous lap. So 278. Just gonna have a quick look at that. Just trying to see what the speed is. So 278 kilometers an hour. It's 172.7 miles an hour. So anybody who thinks that these Kia Optimas are just chugging along and it's one of the slower cars in iRacing, well, think again, 170 miles an hour.
And you know, when and if this series will switch to the modern TCR cars coming, that is going to be a big shock because you know those are quite slower compared to this.
140 miles an hour, something like that. 150 maybe tops for them,
I
I think.
Well, you know, I was lucky enough to be a marshal at a 2-hour enduro a couple of well, 1 month ago, and of you know a TCR enduro race, and there
Okay,
was
yeah.
among other cars the Audi, and they didn't seem very quick from the outside. You know, that same day the Italian
Yeah.
GT3 cars ran around, and you know they seem quite a bit slower. Certainly they are slower than this, but you know they will promote, I think, even more wheel-to-wheel banging, and you know let's go on the straight once again and see if Sviridovic can mount an attack.
I think it's about 160 miles an hour is the top speed, roughly. But I imagine with gear ratios as they would be for circuit racing, it'd be a little bit lower. Because obviously you want that acceleration, you want that grip. And it seems like Sviridovic has a little bit more grip than Sutton does at the moment.
Oh, look at this.
Two very experienced campaigners. This is Christian Rose on the outside of Sven Glatzel. He's trying to take the position away from the German here. And behind them is, the inside, Dave Baker. Sorry, no, it's McIntyre, isn't it? It was McIntyre, not Glatzel. With Rose, Baker and Rushworth. Sorry,
no, it is Glatzel. It is Glatzel. McIntyre
no, it's
is
not. It's Glatzel's in front of them, Marco.
oh yes, you are right. You are absolutely
Sorry,
right.
I got
You
it
know,
wrong
there is
at first, but rescued it.
You see, there is like a sea of CQR and V-Racer cars all together, so it's quite easy to get confused for a second. As back in the front, we are very sorry to cut away from this fight. Sedgwick, you know, slowly but surely, well, not slowly but surely, keeping tabs on the two guys at the front. And certainly, Ash Sutton has been doing a masterful job of keeping the lead, but pressure is going to mount. With each coming lap, it will be always bigger and bigger.
Oh yeah, massively. Here he goes. He defends the inside now, Sutton. Into the first corner of the lap. Parks it on the apex. Sviridovic is trying a big long switch back around the outside. Might have been a tiny bit of contact, either that or he ran out of road. But that allows Sedgwick to get in on the act. Very nearly managed to get second place away from Sviridovic, but the veteran managed to hold on. Sutton, who has never won a BSRTC championship, he's I think he can do it if he can make as many showdown rounds as possible. Certainly has a chance to do it.
And certainly is one who would really love to get his hands around that Audi TCR car, because well, he had I remember last season he made his debut as a wild card in the TCR UK Championship and scored pole and won both races, if I'm not mistaken. And TCR cars are, you know, pretty much similar to each other. They all have the same basis of the, the Seat, the Leon Cup, basically. And speaking of which, the Audi RS3 basically is identical to the Volkswagen Polo and the Seat Leon. They are basically the same car with.
Was that the wall? Did he hit the wall then, Sviridovic, Marco?
I think he maybe just brushed it. Maybe it was a bit of a connection, you know.
I don't know if I saw some sparks coming off of the wheel arch on the left-hand side there. But now he attacks Sutton again. He nearly loses it. Hard on the brakes. These two really going for it. Sviridovic is trying around the outside. Sedgwick round the outside. And I think this time, he's outsmarted the pair of them, Marco. Brilliant. But can he hold on is the question.
Fantastic stuff there. And now, also, Cepilevski has joined this party. So, very close to disaster between Sutton and Sviridovic. And, you know, Sedgwick, I told you, he was there waiting and waiting. But, you know,
here he goes.
And now
Sutton's
he has to
on the
defend.
Inside. This is going to be tough, because if he defends hard, Sedgwick, then there's a chance that the other two ERT cars come into play here. Sutton is right there. You can see the CQR car right with us. And they're going left and right. They're going each way and that. Sutton into the infield section. They make a little bit of contact. He regains the lead. Ash Sutton is tremendous in wheel-to-wheel racing. but Cedric nudges him. He goes wide, and now he has to defend hard from Wojciech Simidovic, who's also trying round the outside of the 2017 British Touring Car champion. Can't quite do it. 4-time champion Simidovic in this series, of course.
Fantastic stuff, and still we have around 6 minutes left in this race. Cedric trying to pull away, not going to be easy. Once again,
how quick has that race gone?
Yeah,
14 minutes already.
Yeah, and now once again Sutton versus Sviridovich, but this time for second place. But Sutton.
Oh, Cedric defends the inside.
Oh,
contact with Simidovic as he tries that very, very deep run all the way around the outside again. It's not going to work out for him. He loses out to third place Chepelewski now. So Simidovic suffering a little bit, down to fourth and under pressure from Sven Glatzel. We'll see what the V-Racer driver can do. Getting a bit excited here, but with good reason. This is one of the best race one battles I think we've seen all season in the BSRTC, and it continues now through these long S's. Marco, can be a little bit frustrating as a driver to have to wait for so long to get on the throttle, especially in the Kia Optima, but they make it through well. This is a chance now for Chepelewski. Is he going to have a move?
Absolutely. Here we go once again as they break hard into the S's, and for everyone that has watched BSR with us in the past, that the more the night goes on, the more there is a slow descent into madness. Usually race one, the more calm of the races.
It's not a slow descent into madness. I think
a quick
it's a very, very quick one, as we've seen many times. You could argue that half of them are mad already, as it's true. As I've raced them, as Cedric is still in the lead, 3.5 tenths is the gap. We're looking back from Sutton now as he chases down Cedric. So he has, he's relinquished the slipstream actually. So Chepelewski hard on the brakes. He's used to this close quarters racing. From the rallycross, and big lunge from Glatzel. He's missed it, and down below the CQR cars he goes. Then Baker is through, Rose is through, and Rushworth. He may even lose a position to Jack McIntyre, who is in 9th place. Then McIntyre.
How many times did Sutton and Chepelewski have contact in this first race? Because I'm starting to lose count.
Just a couple, but there's some contact there. Around goes Cedric. Oh, and over he goes, up and over and around. And he might be out of the race. I think he might be able to get going again, but Sutton taking no prisoners this time. Simidovic round the outside. Be interesting, Marco, when we get a second. Might have to even be the end of the race now to look at that again, just from a different angle, just to see if there was any. See exactly what happened. But Simidovic and Baker now fighting out. Dave Baker, who started in 10th position, uncharacteristically poor qualifying from him. He's doing well in the race though, up into 7th.
Yeah,
biggest mover actually, joint with Sakovic, biggest mover in the top 20.
We'll get a replay of that, as soon as the race is over. Now Sutton with 0.8 of a second of a lead, so he's looking good. And now, all of a sudden, Wojciech Sviridovich, all his teammates around him, now he is alone in a sea of CQR cars.
That's it. And there's not a lot he can do about it. He's just got to fight and see where it gets him. It's great for CQR. Turned into a terrific points finish. Where's Chepelewski? What happened to Stellion? Why is Stellion down to 17th place with damage? I didn't quite see that on our screen.
I think he got.
Did he hit Cedric?
Yeah, he's the guy that hit Cedric, I think.
I
thought it was Sviridovich for a second, but no, it was.
Well, I thought it was as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cedric's down to 20th. He's still going. Woodhouse has just taken Smith for 15th place. That's the latest move. In there, that's the team ordered. It looks like,
or a mistake. I don't know. I saw his number flashing red. So, but yeah, final couple of minutes. So I think we will have this lap that we are running, and one more, and you can see immediately the gap closing down once again between the leader and the chasing pack. But now, once again, like I said earlier, Ash Sutton has got 3 allies behind him, whilst Wojciech Sviridovich is all alone He's going to take a masterful job. If this was cycling, he would be in a very tough spot.
He
Wojciech.
would be in big trouble, wouldn't he, already?
Yeah.
Sutton would have his... Sutton would be doing the lead out for Dave Baker, it seems, at the moment, if this is a cycling race. But luckily for Sutton, it's not, and the guy at the front actually has the advantage here. But how much of an advantage? Savinovic again tries it, and they make more contact. This is brilliant stuff. Very
Here comes
short
Baker.
camera angle. They couldn't quite see what happened there.
Here comes Baker to the lead, profiting from the contact. And once again a dive bomb from Wojciech. Oh,
Contact
dear
between
me.
Savinovic and Baker. It's all breaking down here. And that's exactly the plight that Wojciech Savinovic finds himself in. And Sutton again playing spoiler. This time now they're letting V-Racer in on the act, though. Sven Glatzel. It is like commentating the end of a cycling race. Looks like they're all getting ready for the sprint, Marco.
Yes, they are. And David Baker in the best seat. Oh, there's a car going
Sutton's
sideways.
in trouble. He's lost it. He's lost it in front of the midfield.
What a disaster. Disaster for himself and...
Just like in the sprint going to the cycling race, somebody crashes for getting their elbows out quite too much, and there it is. It could be a victory for David Baker. Unbelievable. I think it will be as well, because we're on the final 2 corners. Is it going to be a win for the season 7 champion? He's taken the title in the past, and he's going to take the top step of the podium here. The showdown looms. David Baker comes around the final corner, and he's going to win here at Indianapolis in race 1. David Baker to the top step of the podium.
A hat-trick for CQR then. Wow, absolutely crazy. Here comes Brown to bring home the amateur class win. But we have a lot of stuff to watch.
Excellent from Brown, Marco, because he started at the front of the AM category and he's finished there.
You know, not always the case, you know, as they say. Let's watch it from here.
So let's take a look. Oh, it looked like Sutton just was maybe a bit eager, maybe a bit too eager, and he ended up in a place which was never really going to be good. Ends up hammering into him, and I think he's got damage. I think he's crabbing along. He is. Can't control the car, Marco. I think he had steering damage. Suspension was broken, I think.
And yeah, see.
That's what it looked like anyway. I can't tell.
Look at that, look at that, look at that.
Terrible. Oh, and he gets absolutely T-boned. But yeah, I don't know if he finished the race in the end, but well, he'll be classified in 28th place. Might have a chance at the reverse grid actually if it's a large number. If it's a number higher than 28, then he'll get on the pole, will Sutton. So just waiting on Rob Graham to come over the line, which I believe he has. And Rob, before we do the reverse grid wheel, we're going to take you through the finishing order for round 1 of the evening in the BSRTC. See if it will come onto the screen. There it is. Dave Baker takes the win, a 1-2-3 for CQR. You wouldn't have thought that halfway through the race, not whatsoever. Especially Dave Baker winning. He was absolutely nowhere for the first half of the race, but fair play to him. He came through as he so often does. Christian Rose was only half a second behind. Jamie Rushworth the same in 3rd. Jack McIntyre in 4th for V-Racer, ahead of Ross McFarlane, George Simmons and Wojciech Savinovic 6th and 7th for ERT. Pete Harrod in 8th, Stephen Baxter in 9th, and Dan Brown in 10th. It really has been a domination of CQR, V-Racer and Evolution Racing Team this season, and that's illustrated in no better fashion than them taking the entire top 10. Lewis Bibby, who's running as a privateer this season, is in 11th place. Maciej Sakovic in 12th, with Mark Woodhouse in 13th. Paul Smith in 14th after some contact early on. Sven Glatzel in 15th, then Michael Blake in 16th place. 17th for Max Wright. Chris Wood was in 18th, and then 19th was Jack Sedgwick after his escapades that we saw on the stream there. William Daniels in 20th, then Adam Hedgecock in 21st, Adam McNally in 22nd. Sean Gardner was in P23 ahead of John Roberts. And then Stelin Chepelevsky finished 25th ahead of Kip Stevens in 26th. Ash Sutton was classified just in 27th place, Rob Graham in 28th, and Adam Hadfield in 29th place. So if we do have a full, it will be Rob Graham. If it's full, -1 Sutton, and then -2 Stevens, -3 Chepelevsky, -4 Roberts, and -5 Sean Gardner. So Michael's going to have the, I believe you got the wheel, mate, have you? No, we didn't quite know where it was earlier on.
Okay, let's go with this reverse grid wheel then. Should be on your screens right now. Hopefully, yes, here we go. Let's roll it. Oh dear.
Go on.
It's on the edge, really. I think it's marginally on the side of -4.
Full -4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is John Roberts, who's going to be on pole position. So Sutton, Chepelevsky, and Stevens are going to be left at the back. Could provide some exciting racing from them. But Roberts ahead of Gardner, then McNally, then Hedgecock, and Daniels are bringing up the top 5. We'll see how they get on when we return after the break here on Apex Racing TV as the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship continues.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to the Brickyard here on Apex Racing TV. British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship action on tap today. This is round 2 of a 3-race meeting. The warm-up is just finished. The drivers are going down to the grid. Andrew Woodhouse and Marco Barbanera bringing you all the action from this one. And it's going to be action-packed because the reverse grid has put up a great situation. 5 amateur drivers on the front of the field. And we'll see how they get on. John Roberts is on pole. Former AM champion, of course. Sean Gardner in 2nd, Adam McNally in 3rd, Adam Hedgecock 4th, Will Daniels in 5th for V-Racer. And then it's Jack Sedgwick, the first of the pros, in 6th, Chris Wood in the AM category in 7th, Max Wright in 8th, 9th for Michael Blake, and 10th for Sven Glatzel. The rest of the field will cycle through the on your screen. The race 1 winner, Dave Baker, well, he'll be starting all the way down in 24th place, and then below him, we've got some fine names there at the bottom as well. Chepelevsky, Stevens, Sutton, Graham, and Hadfield, or a back 5 of the grid. That is, I think we'll see the field all sort of squishing together at some point. I don't think a couple of drivers have taken the start. Actually, I think McNally and Hedgecock haven't. So it's going to be a free run for Roberts and Gardner into turn 1. Lights are off, the race is on. Good start by John Roberts. It's a long drag down to turn 1, but importantly for them, they don't really have any challenge from behind because of the 2 drivers missing out. Having a look on the inside, then is Max Wright from P7. He's having a look as they're nearly 4 wide in the middle. They've all got to funnel in, Marco, into the tightest section.
Yeah, toughest moment of the race, I think, for most of these drivers trying to jostling up for position. Seems like everything went well, more or less. Daniels now jumping into 2nd place. Gardner down to 3rd, as you can see in his brightly colored car. And look at Jack Sedgwick, of course, with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to get back. You know that he was in the lead when he crashed out in the first race, and he's already up to 3rd position.
That's true. Having looked at the replay, it didn't really look like his fault at all. But, well, that's one for the stewards, not for me. But he's now setting about the lead of this race. 2 cars between him and it. John Roberts does lead the way. Will Daniels in 2nd place. Then it's Sedgwick, as we mentioned. Then it's Glatzel. Then in 5th is Chris Wood, who's got past Sean Gardner, who's getting freight trained a tiny bit. In the middle there is car 23. That's still in Chepelevsky, battling away with that Sutton in car 7. So these 2 trying to make their way through the field. Already getting about 8 places, Marco. That's brilliant.
Here we go. Sedgwick looking for 2nd place, putting Daniels under big pressure, and here we go.
Now, Daniels probably could have used a slipstream from Roberts' car, actually, to try and defend from... Oh, he might be going for both of them here, Sedgwick. He's been boxed in, and inadvertently, Daniels goes through into the lead. He didn't have a clue about that, I don't think, but he's made it into the lead. It's all swapped around. It's Daniels, then it's Roberts, then it's Sedgwick. Oh, Roberts has got a problem. Oh, it must be.
This is going to be tough because it's a 2nd lap, so big time penalty, and everyone will dart left and right to avoid him. Back at the front, Daniels again under pressure from Sedgwick. Glatzel looking to join the party. And now...
The cavalry has arrived though, yeah. Marco. Sven Glatzel is there. So V-Racer having 2 cars compared to the one of Sedgwick, they might have a good chance of winning this one. Wood and Woodhouse then. Fairly close together. This is Woodhouse and Gardner. Oh, and flying up the inside is car 27. That is Max Wright. Now he's on the outside of Sean Gardner. Can he get through on the boosted car? I think he can. Completed then is the move by Max Wright. Round the outside goes Michael Blake, my old team principal. Immortal last season. And in the Team Mad car now, of course, Michael Blake getting in on the action. Going round the outside and making the move stick. Paul Smith's in there as well, former race winner in the series many times actually. He's getting in on the act now. He's down to 10th, Marco, but right in the thick of it.
Glatzel, fastest lap of the race. Here we go, Sedgwick for the lead.
Yeah, it looks like he's done it. Can't quite see where Will Daniels is, but Sedgwick through. Oh! Daniels mounting the curb. Mounting a strong defence. Not quite managing to wrestle that lead back away from Sedgwick. Woodhouse dropping down the order. What's happened?
Yeah, seems like he got boxed out there at the first
Slow down.
corner. Some drivers are. I saw even Chepilevsky now getting moved positions up, up and down, up and down. There must have been some sort of, massive traffic jam there in the midfield. The same time, Sedgwick now looking to pull away as we are here with Chepilevsky. And you can see Chepilevsky is in 17th, and Ash Sutton is up to 9th. So something must have happened in the midfield. Some drivers were able to sneak by, and others were, stuck in traffic.
Roberts down to 20th. It's a big challenge, isn't it, Marco, when you have been at the front of the race to then try to regain that pace that you had at the front, because he was pulling away at the front until he was overtaken by Jack Sedgwick. Tough for him to regain that pace now. But here is a battle for P5, that is. Sorry, that's Max Wright with McFarlane and Blake.
Oh, Chepilevsky with some issues. I think he went wide and dropped some positions. Let's see.
I think it's one place. I think he was down to 18th. I think it. Oh no, it might be a couple of places actually. Oh yeah. Oh dear. Well, he did well to miss everybody.
Yeah.
It's actually 4 places he lost. He must have regained some and then lost them again.
Okay, so Jack Sedgwick is your leader, Sven Glasser in second, Daniels, Wood and Wright. These are the top 3 in the amateur race. And Michael Blake.
Blake's gone.
Oh, I think it's in the backstretch. And luckily only one car involved in there.
Oh no! Careful.
No.
I think he's still got the. He's got no bonnet, so he must have been in the wall somewhere. Be interesting to see what happened here. Does he get quarter paneled into the left-hand wall? Almost certainly, yes. Oh, there he goes. Assistance from a CQR car. I'm not quite sure who that was, but yeah, that car not looking so handsome at the moment. This is the battle for 5th place. Marco Wright ahead of McFarlane, Sutton and Baxter.
Great overspeed from McFarlane there. Sutton aggressive on the inside.
You'd expect nothing less. Great straight line speed. McFarlane really trying to hang on the outside. He's going to have to really throw it into turn 2, but he's not going to have the speed through 3, surely because of that, and that is how it manifests itself. So Sutton, off, very wide. Not quite off, but he might as well have been. He's lost a couple of places there. Max Wright, very wide entry into turn 3, didn't quite work. Although he's going back on Smith here. Smith is through. It says Jamie Rushworth's crashed out there. I think he has.
He has at the hairpin. Nice catch there. And he's back on the racing line, so maybe just a spin, nothing more. This fight here for, it's basically for 3rd place in the amateur class, and but also with pro drivers, trying to make their way up the field. Absolutely crazy. Paul Matthew Smith, Max Wright, Maciek Sakovic, Dave Baker, Mark Woodhouse, and Daniel Brown with Woodhouse. Sorry, Baker being the only pro driver in this mix, but coming from behind Chepilevsky, McIntyre, Harrod. Here we go.
Baker's having a fantastic meeting so far. One race won from 10th on the grid. It's like 24th in this one. He's already up to 11th. That's good. It's really, really good from someone who's not always renowned for his overtaking, but look at this battle. Who's that going up the middle? It's Wojciech Savinovic, and Adam Hadfield's on the inside. And he has to back out. And I think if they don't all run into each other, that'll be quite nicely executed by ERT. Look at that. They've gone through into the front of this pack, and now they'll be looking to work together to get up into the top 10. I think that's the target, surely, for these two.
Nice move there, but
Oh, something's happened in front. I can hear tyre squealing, and it's Sakovic. I think Sakovic and Baker, I think, bashing into each other. Baker's taken right, might slide in front of him. Oh, he has. That's nicely done. It's almost like something you'd see on a in a dirt oval race. That slide job there, that was good. He's around the outside. Nice. Hitting his braking point nicely there, Baker. Two Team Mad cars side by side then. Woodhouse and ApexRacingTV. Good stuff there. Side by side with teammates, Marco. There's nothing to separate them at all.
Absolutely not. And every lap, I mean, almost every driver, maybe apart from Sedgwick, every time they come to this part of the track, they know they are due for, you know, defending or attacking someone. Phillips. That was in the wall of McIntyre, yeah. And look at that, Wojciech Sviridovich coming in to profit from that mistake. But going very tamely into the first corner, I have to say.
Probably a good thing, actually. As you can see, the other two getting very close in front. That's one thing that makes a champion, though, Marco, is it's that ability, it seems, to just see things happening in front of them and just to know what's going to happen before it even happens.
Absolutely agree. And, you know, that's why I'm not a champion, because I would have sent the car, you know, into that corner without thinking twice.
You would have gone for it then. Yeah, I probably would have gone for it as well, to be honest. As that's why we're talking about it and not doing it, ladies and gentlemen. As now, this train of cars is quite hard to sort out. So at the front of it is still Baker, I think, and then it's right, and it's Woodhouse, Sakovic, Svidovic, and McIntyre. So good stuff there. Glatzel quicker than Sedgwick on that previous lap, Marcus, so not quite over at the front. 1.3 seconds is the margin as they vie for the race victory in race 2.
Yes, as we are heading into the second, we are already, I have to say, in the second half of the race with 11 minutes on the clock. Let's keep an eye on Ash Sutton as well. He's about to, and he's already in the top 4. I would say he really had a great first part of the race, because, you know, all the other top runners in race 1 are still struggling to get out of the top 10. As you can see, Sviridovich, Sakovic into the first corner, up and over, crisscross there.
Right is wide. That's not easy for me to say there at all, but he's lost out to Svidovic, and he probably will lose out to Chepelevsky. I think, oh my word, Cheppy, that was a big misjudgment. He's lost contact 5 places. Now he's hit Sakovic. Now he's in the gravel, and it's turned into a bit of a disaster for Chepelevsky there. He was looking for 10th place. He's now ended up in 21st.
Yeah, 21st place. Let's see from the chopper. You see the chaos unfold. Almost hitting his teammate. Oh, did he? Oh yeah, you are right. You are right.
I think he got hit from behind, Marco. He might have just got a nudge from one of the V-Racer cars there. I'm not sure who it was. It might be McIntyre. But just a little nudge was all it took.
And, you know, with these cars, usually that is all you know, all that it takes, just a little bit of a nudge, especially when you are maybe in a situation where you are braking or turning, and there you go, you are sent
100%.
Yeah, out of the racing line, you know. As
just to say as well, by the way, that Will Daniels is doing a good job in 3rd place, but he's got Chris Wood for company. That is not an easy task.
No, and it's also for the lead in the amateur class, so certainly this is going to be a heated battle, both for that amateur victory and the final spot on the podium. And looming behind these two is the number 7 car of Ash Sutton. Ross McFarlane and Steven Baxter also coming through. Let's see, let's focus on these guys here, because they certainly deserve the spotlight. They're putting on a show.
100%.
And, you know, it's not, we had a win in the MX5 Monday Cup. In race 2 of 3, we had a winner from a reverse pole position, and it's you know, at the moment I said this is very rare in BSR competition, you know, to get a reverse, you know, and you know, Daniels and Wood are certainly holding up to their good reverse grid position. Williams, Daniels, you know, there was 2 non-starters, so I think they were basically where they are +1, both of them. And
I will say, by the way, Marco, that I have done that won from pole position in reverse grid, BSR. I did that.
So you can say it's a very difficult task that only the best drivers, are able to do, no?
I had a bit of help from a bit of chaos behind, but yeah, I probably would have won the race anyway. But it would have been a lot closer. Put it this way, is what it would have been definitely if it wasn't for that. Now this is a great lunge by Chris Wood up the inside. Can he keep it though? We've seen many times tonight. Driver goes in deep to turn one. They're vulnerable through two. We nearly had the same situation, Marco, as what we had with Sutton and Sedgwick, and it still might happen. Here comes Sutton. He's going to make this 3 wide. Is he going to go through? Is he going to go through them both? I think he is. Wood trying to defend, but he can't. No, can defend. Well, on the outside goes Sutton. He's just absolutely. He's made them look silly there. That was really good driving.
Fantastic stuff. So change for the lead in amateur. Change for the podium. Sutton now in third. Fantastic.
They didn't do anything wrong.
No, they didn't. It's just great driver doing great things.
Not wrong there. He started near the back as well. It's the other thing that's always. It still surprises me, but it doesn't when he does this. Ash Sutton, but still, the battle over the AM category win still going to be very important. It's Wood in the AM category. The top 5 is Wood, Daniels, Smith, Woodhouse, and Hadfield. So Smith is lying between Baxter and Baker in the field. So P8, not far behind Baxter actually. In fact, Baxter is definitely one of the better drivers for Smith to hang on to, because if he can stay with him, is he going to try and overtake him actually into turn 1? Is he going to have a go? Not quite close enough this time, Marco, but did mean that Baxter was deep into turn 1, and he's keeping the pressure on.
Smith got he was cutting a little bit too much, I think, of the inside curb. Got away with it, but gotta be careful. 1 centimeter more and you get a big slowdown there. So he was flirting with disaster there, but he got away with that, and you can see
he's going for it.
Close.
No,
yeah. I mean,
so that was the wrong corner. I didn't think. I thought that was the next corner. I was getting excited.
But he certainly has more than a chance to make the move on Baxter now. Is it a smart thing to do right now? We will see, because like you were saying, Baxter is a great driver to have in front of you, sort of, to carry you, along the circuit.
If it was me, if I was Paul there, I would probably just stay behind Baxter and see if he can carry us towards the front, but Baker's quite close, and it looks like Smith has the pace on Baxter actually, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So let's see whether he can make this move into turn 1, and we'll see whether what you said, the warnings about the inside curb, come to fruition. I'm sure he'll be streaming this as well, Paul, on his YouTube channel. He's very close in the slipstream now, Michael, just a tenth and a half.
Yeah, let's see. Baxter defending on the inside, so Smith will have to settle for the outside.
Defending early though, and decisively, Baxter. Is he going to be able to parlay that though into keeping the position? Has he left the inside open? No, he has just about, but you can carry the speed around the outside there in turn 2, as we've seen many times already tonight. This is a tricky corner, Mark. I've never really mastered it over the years. Turn 3, it's sort of one of those, it almost surprises you every time you get to it.
Can I have to be, if I have to be honest, I only bought this track for commentary reasons. I always skip it when it comes to, I mean, unless it's the oval side.
It's a good track. It's a good track.
But the road course, I in all directions, it's the drop week for me every time.
I remember when I was practicing for the iRacing Road Pro Series here once, and well, it was back when there was all the cones on the inside of turn 1. You just get the cones stuck in your car back then in the Williams, and that was a way to ruin. Like we used to do the practice races, 20 laps or so. We used to do just for a practice stint or so, and after 5 laps, if you hit a cone and it ended up getting stuck, that was your practice race absolutely ruined. But so These drivers just need to be careful more of track limits in the Kia Optima. It's unlikely to get a cone stuck. I have seen it, though, as this is Baker now joining in on the action.
3 wide.
Is he going to go for it?
Almost.
Not
You
quite.
used his head.
Yeah, I think that's why he's a champion of the series. Smith goes wide. Oh, bashed into Baker. Baker stays in 8th place. Now he'll set about Baxter. Still fairly close between Sutton, Wood and McFarlane, actually. Not a lot of difference between them. Oh, sorry, no, it was Wood, McFarlane and Daniels. Sorry, I'm reading the timing screen badly, as usual.
Yeah, McFarlane jumped Daniels 1 or 2 laps ago as... let's see, because we have Jack Sedgwick right now. He is in the S, so this might very well be... well, you know, it's going to be close.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. Let's see.
He's going to need a few seconds in hand, I think, though. If he does cross the line after 20, I'm pretty sure this is going to be... I say that. It's going to be close. Is it going to be the checkered flag or the white flag? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the white flag as the yard of bricks comes up.
White
now,
flag.
So he crosses the line bang on 20 minutes, slap bang on there. And now here is McFarlane trying to have a go on Chris Wood. Look at them behind as well, dear me. But Wood and McFarlane into turn 1 side by side then. See the Kia squirming around on the brakes. I do love braking in this car, though. Really is fun. It's almost like a MotoGP bike as it slides the rear around on the braking. Round the outside goes Stephen Baxter on David Baker. Looking for P7. Baker had to get out of it. Smith on the inside. He's looking to capitalise. Great action on the last lap, Marco. This is what you want, isn't it?
Fantastic stuff. And, you know, once again, this racetrack is like many others, which I don't really like for racing, but they always provide some good action in the broadcast, you know, because they are so twisty, turning, and, you know, it's difficult to run away. So, yeah, fantastic
it's quite
stuff.
wide is this track as well, though. It gives you chances to run some different lines.
Just like, you know, Circuit of the Americas, for example, you know, it has, especially the final section, not the best in terms of corners, but so wide and so difficult to make the difference that you cannot run away as. Now, for real, the final lap and the final corner for Jack Sedgwick.
Well, it didn't work out for him in race 1, but he won't care about that now. Race 2 belongs to Jack Sedgwick. He wins from 5th on the grid. 6th on the grid it was, actually. Sedgwick takes the victory in race 2. It's going to be close between Wood and Daniels. It's going to be Wood who gets 5th place. Then Glatzel 2nd, Sutton 3rd, McFarlane 4th. Baxter, Baker, Smith and Svidovic rounding out the top 10. It's Mark Woodhouse, Brown, Hadfield, McIntyre, then Cheppy. And just coming across at the end is Simmons, and then Graham, McNally, Hedgecock and Rushworth. I tell you, Rushworth had that spin earlier on. He's ended up miles behind. It looks like he's got damage as well. He can't, can't even keep it flat coming out of the last corner, the last proper corner.
Look at the steering, but he's giving himself a chance. So yeah, for the reverse grid, is the final car to come home. And I think
he's going to score some points.
And I think he is the last eligible car for the reverse, so certainly with a good chance, you know, for the pole position. Everyone home safely, more or less. So I think we can go through the race results for race 2.
Yeah, let's do it. So, as we mentioned, then it was action all the way through the field. Sedgwick winning it by 4.6 seconds in the end from Sven Glatzel. Ash Sutton, another overtaking masterclass, in 3rd. Ross McFarlane in 4th. Chris Wood in 5th. And then Will Daniels in 6th. Stephen Baxter in 7th. Dave Baker 8th. Paul Smith 9th. And Wojciech Svidovic in 10th. Mark Woodhouse was 11th, with Dan Brown in 12th. Adam Hadfield 13th. 14th was Jack McIntyre. 15th, Stelian Chepelewski. 16th for Maciej Sakovic. Christian Rosen in 17th, 18th for John Roberts. 19th, Kip Stevens, Pete Harrod in 20th, 21st, Max Wright, 22nd, Sean Gardner, 23rd, George Simmons, Rob Graham in 24th, Adam McNally 25th, 26th, Adam Hedgecock, and then Jamie Rushworth is a minute down. But if it is a full, well, it won't be a full, will it? But if it is a large number, it'll be him that goes on to pole because Michael Blake and Lewis Bibby retired quite early on. 29 starters, 27 finishers. Marco.
Yeah, it's that moment. Final reverse grid wheel of the night. And it should be on your screen right now. Well, actually, the biggest reverses we can get is 27. So, I think, yes, is the biggest on the wheel. So, you know,
well, Rushworth will be happy.
Yeah, let's see if it is 27. Let's roll it. It is going to be full -3. Full -3.
Rob Graham, it's going to be then on pole.
Yeah.
24th place finish is going to turn into the top of the grid for race 3. So it'll be Graham, then Simmons, Gardner, Wright, and Harrod are going to be the ones battling it out for the win in the next race. And we hope to see you back here on Apex Racing TV when we join you for the third round of the evening. There we go.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
We're back. The BSRTC race 3 of the evening. Rob Graham on pole. Josh Simmons in second. Sean Gardner third. Then Max Wright. Pete Harrod. Kip Stevens. That's your top 6. Just a few seconds to go before the start. Should be a really, really good one. We're getting ready to go. Ooh, lights are off. The race is on. Good start by Graham. Got away pretty well. Simmons might be drawing alongside him, you know. In the second phase of the start. Long run into turn 1. Simmons is through. Graham with a really wide line. Loses the lead, but maintains second place. Perhaps pretty smart strategy by him. As quite a few positions changing in the midfield as drivers making their way through. McIntyre you see in there in the middle of it all. Oh, 3 wide with Roberts and Adam Hadfield. Look at all those orange V-Racer cars, Marco. There's loads of them in the middle and the back of the field at this point.
Even though I have to say we have a lot of black and yellow, red and black and red, black and orange cars.
Baker. Oh! Car flying through the air. What on earth has gone on there?
Who was that? Sven Glatzel.
And
look at
Glatzel. Look, he's embedded in the wall.
Yeah. I mean, that camera shot was, something out of an action movie, because I saw that car flying. Oh, bad luck there. I mean, wrong place, wrong time, and he got basically stuck.
Well, that was a reasonable reaction for the car to fly up in the air, wasn't it?
Ah, man.
Oh,
wow.
Dear.
That was something else, as Sven Glatzel has jumped to the pits, and so did William Daniels.
It was just like normal shot of the action, and then car flying through the air, just as you do. Daniels, I think, got a big bit of that accident. I think he was the one, correct me if I'm wrong, Marco, I think he was the one who was sort of in front of the big sandwich.
Yeah, the launching pad, basically.
Yes.
I mean, I have been surprised many times in my broadcasting career, but this was, I think, new heights for shocking. Shocking. I mean, you don't expect
new heights in every single way. I think.
Then you're focusing on the front of the action, then in the background you see, with the corner of your eye, a car flying, basically, in outer space. Bad luck there.
There was one. I think it was either at the start of this season or it was the end of last season. There was. We were just looking at a camera shot, and then just this car just flies in front of us. Absolutely just scared the life out of me. I think it was at Mosport or something like that. Now here we're looking at Sutton and Woodhouse. Woodhouse having a look around the outside. Maybe not. Sakovic having a go up the inside of Svidovic. That looks like a good move by Sakovic, but Svidovic fighting back on the inside. This is Hadfield and Christian Rose. Oh, this is going to turn into 3-wide action, Marco. That's almost a guarantee, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. And look at that on the inside. Is the Otto McNaughey car of Adam Hadfield. McIntyre trying to squeeze.
Oh, hello. Oh, that's not good. That's not good when you're that close. Dear me. That's a nightmare. I think he's going to try and go through his McIntyre. Oh, he hits the curb hard, though.
It's also eating up at the front, as these guys keep, this corner here is the premier spot for door-to-door action, but Czepilewski has jumped into 4th place now, pushing hard, trying to get behind the CQR car of Pete Harrod. Robert Graham is in 2nd, and Simons is in 1st, as we see here. Still lots and lots of, I'm gonna miss a bit this, characteristic of the Kia of being, basically the front end of the Kia being a launching pad for other Kias. I'm going to miss it a bit. It's sad for the drivers, of course, but
it's you know what? I am going to miss the Kia Optima, but I think the Audi, it's a fresh start. Hopefully, it's going to be just as entertaining to race. The one thing that you say about the Kia is it's very, very good to race. It's got very, very high speed on the straights as well. So, it goes as fast nearly as a DTM car does on the straights. That's how fast it is. Oh!
Wow.
big twitch from Pete Harrod, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look at Cepilevski.
Oh!
That's brave. Oh, careful, guys.
That was brilliant by Cheppy. He's going to miss the corner again now.
Oh!
And he hits Rob Graham. He has not got that corner right, really, all evening, Marco. He's had a few accidents there, left himself vulnerable. Speaking of leaving himself vulnerable, Sutton getting into a bit of contact with possibly Hadfield.
Yes, and still they are battling Wright and Cepilevski, despite making some big contact in the first corner as they head down for the hairpin. I would imagine some damage on both of those cars. That was a pretty big hit. They are still banging doors.
Oh, Wright is not wanting to give this one up very easily. 3 ultimate no-kill cars then in the top 10. Hadfield and Graham, of course, the other two. Here's Sutton. He lost a position in the first corner, but he's going to try and take one away from Rob Graham. Gets P7. And here comes Wright. I'm going to go on McIntyre. Oh, he's gone off. They might keep it on. Oh, he just about keeps it on. Just behind Hadfield, though.
Comes Sutton as well, despite making some contact in the first corner of this lap. Not too much damage for him. And already up to P6, 16 places gained. As we are on the front stretch once again. Simmons, your leader, in front of Harrod, Cepilevski, McIntyre and Hadfield.
Yeah, good stuff there to gain all those spots by, in fact, there's 3 drivers with 7 positions getting in the top 5 as well, Cheppy, McIntyre and Hadfield. Now,
this fight here, McIntyre, Hadfield and Sutton, they are trying to pull away, try to catch back to Cepilevski and the rest of the guys in front, because already 7 minutes have gone and contact.
Sutton into the back of Hadfield. I think he just misjudged that one. It looked like Hadfield having a go on McIntyre. It's one thing that these 3, unfortunately, though, their downfall just in general is that usually they want to get involved in overtaking when potentially they could work together and move forward to the front of the field, but not wrong with overtaking, obviously. It's not something we discourage here on Apex TV, but certainly I feel like on that lap, Marco, they just slowed each other down because they're only 1 second behind Cepilevski, who's only 1 second behind Harrod. They could easily get up to the front if they just sort of, cooperate a little.
Absolutely, and it wasn't the best of laps for Cepilevski, I think, this one, but the fact that the fighting that they're having is certainly helping him. Look at, despite being on a straight, Sutton fighting with the wheel, and now McIntyre, Hadfield, side by side, little bit of contact. We have the best seat in the house, as you can see.
Makes you wonder, actually, Marco, whether Sutton's running a really high force feedback or something. Because of that, having to do that, usually it's not really the case that you have to fight the wheel that much on the straights, unless you've maybe got a heavy force feedback wheel on and more contact. Christian Rose disappearing from the back of the shot, more contacts.
Good thing this is not the MX-5s, otherwise that would have been a race over. These cars are built like a Japanese table, if you know what I mean.
Well, let's see who's gonna come out on top of this one. I don't know if you meant chaos in that way. I think that's what that could be. Oh, it nearly cut the course there, Sutton. He was very close to a slowdown penalty, I'm sure.
Look at that wheel. Look at how much he's fighting.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it, really? Maybe he just likes the car to be very on edge, maybe, I don't know. Side by side with McIntyre then. On the brakes. They're into P4, good work.
Good work there. Harrod closing in on Simmons, back at the front.
Yes. It's very close now, is Pete Harrod. Loving to take this win, won't he? He's only halfway through this race, though. Can't be getting ready to celebrate just yet. One person who won't be celebrating is Woodhouse. I don't know what's happened to him, but they've all swamped him. Could be a slowdown penalty. But look at that group immediately in front of him. What's happened? Has he missed the... So there's a contact on the inside. Ah, bang! That was it. So Sakovic and... Oh, no. Ah.
Bad luck there.
Yeah, Sakovic and I think it was Graham getting involved in some contact with each other. And that resulted in poor old Woodhouse getting assaulted. But yeah, Harrod's well within range of an overtake now if he can just stay there, really. Don't want to stay there for too long though, because as you said in race 2, looming is Sutton, only about 3 seconds behind this. Fastest lap on that lap, Stalin Chepelewski, 1:31.2. Not quite the fastest lap of the race, but fastest man on the track that last time. And you can see that visually, Marco. He's right there, isn't he, with these two, Stalin Chepelewski?
He really is, really has joined, and now we can see that Sutton is trying to join as well. Hadfield, McIntyre and Rose are the guys scrapping for P5. Hadfield, of course, also the leader of your amateur race, and you know he's got a decent lead over teammate Max Wright for second place. You know, he's in second place in that particular category. So back to the front, and it's a three-way fight right now. Will it become a four-way fight if Ash Sutton is able to join? And that would make, you know, 2 ERT cars versus 2 CQR cars if he can join the party. Let's see, we have...
Four race winners as well in the BSRTC.
Oh, sorry about that. And here we go once again. 8 minutes left as of this moment. And back on the front stretch. Let's go on board with Shepilevsky.
See what the times are like as well. It'll be interesting to see what the times are like when we come across of these three compared to fourth and back. We'll see that. Right in the slipstream. He's going to get double slipstream is Chepelewski. Nice overspeed coming. Also the same for Harrod, but he's going to run out of straight. Be Harrod? Or is he? He is. Cheppy having a look around the outside. The gap to Sutton is 2.3 seconds, so he was a 100th faster on the last lap with Chepelewski than Sutton, but Sutton was 4/10 quicker than the leader. So Cheppy's he's the one on the move at the moment in terms of pace, Marco. Anyway, he's got the best pace out there in the field at the moment. Someone who hasn't is Ross McFarlane. He's in the gravel, and what happened to the Scotsman? I wonder. And Woodhouse, great. Oh, there's a crash. Woodhouse and Smith and Graham involved in a crash. So there's potentially two crashes there, Marco, for us to see.
Yes. Oh, here we go. That's
this
the first.
The second one.
That was the first, and this is the second one.
Oh, I missed the first one. Couldn't quite see the first one happen, but
this is the first one. Then see, it was like basically the same crash going on and on for a couple of corners. So this is the beginning.
Dear me.
And
Mrs. Breaking Point completely did.
And this is the end.
Kill of Graham. 2 team mad cars in the gravel. Oh! Oh dear. That wasn't what they wanted. They're still crashing in the gravel. Dear me. Shouldn't laugh really, but it was a bit funny. As here goes Chepelewski. I'm trying to go around the outside of Pete Harrod. This will be a big move in the context of this race. Josh Simmons still leading the way. Sutton is 1.1 away now. And closer with these two fighting. I tell you, this is now a 4-car battle for the win. Like it or not for these guys.
Yeah, it is.
Simmons has found himself in the lead, but it looks like the other two have the pace on him. What can he do, Marco, to bring this win home with 5 minutes to go?
Defend like crazy, you know, and
Hope and pray.
give 110% of what he can do, because he has the disadvantage of being the leader of the pack, so he's giving slipstream to everyone following him, and you know, he's very quick, but behind him he has got very, very tough competitors like Chepilevsky and Sutton, so it is certainly not going to be easy. 5 minutes left.
I think what he needs to hope for is for these two to get involved in an overtake and potentially delay each other quite a lot. Chepilevsky holding the middle. He hasn't really didn't use the slipstream of his teammate. Oh, that's very close. Oh, is there a bit of contact in turn one? I think there might have been.
Yes, there was, and here comes Sutton in third place, jumping his teammate, and now immediately attacking Chepilevsky.
It's going to be a good battle, this, I think. BTCC champion versus iRacing Rallycross World Championship driver.
Ooh.
Many race wins in this series. Bang! As Sutton barges and kicks the door in on Chepilevsky. Well, forceful one there, Marco. Oh, he's going for the long lunge. Not quite, didn't quite work.
This is exactly what George Simmons wanted if these guys keep fighting, and I'm sure that Chepilevsky will try to come back at Sutton. This might be the break he needs, but if Sutton runs away, then Simmons is in big, big trouble.
Similar pace, Marco, though. If you looked at the laps before that, they were on quite a similar race pace, so you wouldn't imagine Sutton is going to get away, but don't know for sure.
Here we go.
Needs to settle into the braking area this time then, does Sutton. Not going for a lunge.
They are very close, as you can see, with Chepilevsky, who is certainly looking to get revenge from the overtake. And maybe, you know, just maybe, with, you know, this attempt at getting past Sutton, maybe helping his teammate Simmons as well at the front.
I think he has to be. I think he has to have that in his mind, Marco. To be honest, I think he has to. I think he has to employ that tactic. I think of trying to disorientate Sutton and trying to make it an easier ride for Simmons. I think he has to try Chepilevsky here to do just that.
Let's go on board with Chepi.
Because if he doesn't, then I don't think ERT are going to win this race. But again, it's a masterclass from CQR. Just they hunt in packs and they do it ever so well.
Yeah, and also we have to remember the viewers that might not know that there's also the prize money for individual drivers, but also big prize money for the team champions. So it's all in the interest of everyone to get a good result in the team championship.
And the AM category again, which is currently led by Adam Hadfield in this race anyway. He's P5, coming under a lot of pressure from McIntyre, but we're going to look at the front as this battle for the lead is entering the end game here. Sutton wide, nearly spins. Simmons on the inside. He's going to really have to throw it into turn 3 because Sutton's going to be around the outside in the shot. There he goes. There he goes. Ash Sutton. He's made that move stick into the lead. And that is just what he wanted and just how he drew it up, Marco, and it worked brilliantly for him. And Baker looks. I think Baker's crashed.
This could also
be
be
for Dave Baker, but
if my maths are correct, this also could be the last lap.
We'll come to that later. The crashes, but this is what we're really interested in. Yeah, I think it will be the white flag. It's gonna be very close again. Sorry, the checkered flag. Sorry. It's going to be super close. Sutton, Simmons, Chepilevsky, Harrod. Who's it going to be?
Hopefully we get one more because I'm having so much fun tonight. This is a fantastic, fantastic race meeting. Here we go.
That turn one, Marco, is going to be the one. If there is another lap, which I think they will get, it's going to be super close though. I think they will get another lap. Is the checkered flag out for Sutton?
White flag is in the air. One more
White flag
lap.
is in the air.
Sale la Blanca.
Just 3 seconds slower, Marco, than the previous race.
Here we go.
They've come together. Sutton and Simmons crashing, and Sutton's turned into the wall. I've got my hands on my head.
Me
I have
too.
no idea how that happened going into the braking zone.
And so Simmons in air is the lead. Chepilevsky, Harrod, as poor Ash Sutton is there without his front end down to P4, and now will be under attack from other drivers. There's also a mighty scrap for P6, P5, but this is
He
not
needs
over.
to finish the race though, Marco. He's going to get big points for CQR still and for his Drivers' Championship.
So Simmons, Chepilevsky, Harrod now trying to defend the CQR flag as they enter the backstretch and they exit the backstretch also. So will Chepilevsky play the team play card, you know, and not attack his teammate and defend him from, you know, Pete Harrod's possible attack for the race lead? This is the final corner of the race now.
It is indeed. And, well, unbelievable that what happened at the turn one on that last lap. It's going to be very close, actually, as to actually gets the win, because Chepilevsky is very, very near Simmons. It's going to be super close. Is it going to be like Schumacher and Barrichello? It's going to be that close. At the line! They tried to almost do it. They almost tried to stage the dead heat. It is Simmons for 1/100th of a second. Chepilevsky in second, Harrod in third, Sutton is fourth. He's going to be ruined that one. I don't know exactly what happened. We'll have to go back and watch it when everybody comes across. But this is the battle for 16th place. Blake and Smith and McFarlane going hard to the line.
Everyone was very close with each other, by the way. I mean, the
they
pack
all finished by the time we had a chance to sort of turn around.
Yeah, the pack was very, very close. Now, see what happened once again as the event viewer went absolutely crazy in the final lap or so.
Let's have a little look at that.
So, please bear with me for a second while... Here we go.
Okay. Sutton goes to the inside. Simmons in the middle. Oh, he wavered, didn't he? He just wavered on the braking. He didn't brake in a straight line, Simmons. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. I'm certain it wasn't. But as soon as he... Oh, well, it was before the braking zone. He pulled out of the slipstream, Marco. He tried to straighten up. Just didn't straighten up properly.
And maybe from Chappie's perspective we can have... Well, I don't think we will, but... But nice avoiding action, by the way. Because that was... Or maybe, you know, maybe from Pete Harrod's perspective. We can have a better idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a good idea. Comes out of the slipstream. Just wiggled across to the right. I'm certain he wasn't trying to do that, but... Doesn't make it any better for Ash Sutton, though, does it? He's not going to like that one any more than the Simmons does, probably. But Josh Simmons does take the win. And Ash Sutton did get fourth place in the end, though, so not really a disaster for him. Looking at the results then, for the final round of the evening, Simmons from Chepilevsky from Harrod, and Sutton in fourth, Savidovic in fifth, McIntyre in sixth, Adam Hadfield in seventh, Christian Rose eighth, and Wright and Sedgwick make up the top 10. Sakovic, Brown, Rushworth, Stevens and Baxter, and then Blake, Smith, McFarlane, Hedgecock and Gardner, that's the top 20. Woodhouse and Roberts. Then Bibby was over a minute down in 23rd. Baker crashed on the last lap. We didn't see what happened to him. I wonder if Marco will be able to find that once this has gone through. But then McNally and Graham, Wood, Glatzel, and Daniels. Glatzel spectacularly out of the race, Marco. But what happened to Dave Baker on the final lap? Because he was he was in a decent position. I think he was in the top 10.
Trying to get the replay as it is going backwards. I think. Okay. Here we go. So there was a train of cars going into the backstretch, but this is the wrong replay. Because this is Pete Arrott. Okay, this is David Baker.
Oh, quarter panel, Michael Blake.
But I think this is not over. Oh, maybe. Ooh.
Suspension damage.
Suspension damage, yeah.
Has to be. Wow, just from that side contact. Tries to keep it going.
Look at that. Look at the steering wheel.
No, that's no good at all, is it? It's like steering a shopping trolley with your eyes closed. Yeah, that's no good at all.
It tried to finish,
careful.
but that was certainly not
I
ideal.
Think it probably could have got it to the end, but
you know, maybe. Let's see.
Oh no, that was 2 laps to go, wasn't it?
I think he finished 1 lap down. I think so. He just parked it. You know, 1 lap down gets the points still. Good idea not to.
I think
you know.
It was 2 laps down that he crashed, wasn't it? It wasn't the last lap, so.
So certainly, you know, you are right. We have seen, you know, many big contacts over the race, the 3 races. Let's see. And yes, the suspension was done. I mean, we've seen some big hits with cars being relatively okay, but you know, sometimes luck, you know, works against you, sadly. And
that was quite a relatively small hit, and yeah, did major damage to Dave Baker's race. And yeah, that is that for the evening. So it doesn't look like actually any of the drivers are going to come and speak to us tonight. But so in that case, I think we're going to make a swift exit. But Marco, it's been a pleasure, my friend. It's a hell of a meeting. That was enjoyable.
Absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait for next week because you know, get ready. I think we are going to Charlotte Motor Speedway. At least that's where the MX-5s will be on Monday and Tuesday in the new and improved, you know, road course, and that is going to be especially that backstretch chicane is going to be big fun. I can tell you that.
It's going to be some big, big jumps, I think, as we saw tonight, indeed. But, okay, then. Thank you. But
1 second before we go, just let me give you what's coming up in the next few days. Tomorrow,
yes, indeed.
At 7 GMT, we're going to have the Racing Le Mans Series from Spa. You don't want to miss that, of course. Then on Saturday at 13 GMT, we are going to have the Sim Racers Asia Formula 3 Series. Then on Sunday at 10:45 GMT, the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development GT Series Round 6 from Okayama International Speedway. And then back on the regular scheduled programming on Monday with the MX-5 Monday Cup at 7:15 GMT. World GT at 7:15 GMT as well on the Racing Esports Network. Ricmotech later in the night at Spa at 11:45 GMT. Then on 10:45 GMT Tuesday, IMSA Sports Car Championship official strength of field race for the Australia and the New Zealand region. That will be from Montreal later in the day. VRS GT Sprint from Interlagos and 7:15 GMT once again for the BSR MX-5 Pro Series. And of course then on Wednesday nothing because the SRW Championship is on a break. And back on Thursday with some more BSRTC Pro Series. So certainly a lot to look forward to, Andrew, in the coming days here on Apex Racing TV.
Indeed it is. Always busy, always fun here on Apex Racing TV. Marco, thank you very much for joining me tonight. It's been great fun. Thank you to everybody who's watched as well. As the BSRTC winds down the season, we're looking to a fantastic conclusion. It's been great from Indianapolis, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night.